Geek hat confirmed.
Oh, man. Let's get back into this, right? Have you stepped into a phone box? What year is it? Yeah. Let's get things started right now. Right over here. Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world. Welcome back to the live stream. I'm back for another stream today. Maybe you saw me a little bit earlier today. We're back for another live stream, joining our friends from right there, from Gunnar. Hello, hello out there. If you're watching on Gunnar's Instagram, maybe you're watching on the website, maybe you're watching on their Twitch or YouTube or Mixer or Friend Feed or ICQ channels, wherever it is that you might be watching, because we're broadcasting everywhere with Gunnar. Because Gunnar, it's a fantastic product. I want to make sure you check out their stuff. But we're everywhere you want to be. Somebody once sold me a credit card on that title. I don't know. Love your Gunnar glasses, says Annette, right there on the YouTube. Thank you so much, Annette. Yeah. And there's Jay. In case you haven't seen, for those of you that are out there watching on the Gunnar channels, here on my channels, I don't have it wired up to the Gunnar channels. Maybe I can work with our friends from Gunnar. Maybe we can do this in the future. It might be something interesting to do. We have a map. And if you're in the chat, like these folks are on my channels, on Twitch TV, csharpfritz, it's right down there, or YouTube.com, csharpfritz, if you're watching the live video over there, and you mention your location in chat, we'll add a pin to the map with whatever location you specify. So you can be as accurate or as inaccurate as you'd like. There, the lanky Scottish nerd says he's watching from Fife in Scotland. And if I go over here to my map, check it out. There's the map, and you can see there's a couple folks from the UK watching. And if I zoom in a little bit, there we go. We've got a pin in Glasgow. We got another pin up here for Fife, right? I hope I pronounced that right in my ugly American accent. Jay's watching in Manchester. There we go. Jay's on YouTube, so he gets a red hat, right? Hats are kind of my gimmick, my thing. So we've got a pin there for Jay in Manchester. M. Pulowski's here in Maryville, Washington. Hello, hello. So a lot of cool stuff that we've built and we have available for folks to kind of explore. These are some pins from folks who were here earlier today on my earlier this morning stream. You can check out, you can get in and participate on the map. Like I said, comment in my channels. You can go out and interact with the map at map.csharpfritz.com. Now here's Etram that's trying to get very precise. Go ahead. I'll let you try and pass that through and watch what happens. Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. Etram's trying to give an exact, very exact coordinate, and it's not working. So, nope, can't do that. No siree. So, it's a bit of fun, and if you go out there, you can see it'll even drop a pin where I am when I do share my location. So I will share that I'm watching from Philadelphia, and it drops a pin for me in Philadelphia right there. So the folks with swords, those are our moderators that are hanging out, and you can see the rest of the icons over here. All right, so that's our map, and this map, it's not something that's overly sophisticated. It takes locations that people mention in chat, looks them up against either known locations that we have, so we get coordinates, and then places a pin, a hat icon on the map. And when there's a couple folks that are a little bit closer to each other, it groups them together, and you can zoom in and out appropriately with your mouse wheel. You can double click to zoom in. It's your choice of how you want to interact with it. And there's, of course, plus and minus buttons up in the corner you can use to tinker with this. And of course, you can drag it around so you can get to the other parts of the world and see what's going on. So there's some other fun things going on there. There's, in fact, an interactive novel that's happening behind the scenes in my channels. And Lanky Scottish Nerd points out here that there is a green trace on the map. His friend, the Lanky Scottish Nerd, his friend lives there. You can check that out. There might be something interesting to discover there, and dive into the world of the interactive novel that we're telling over on my channels. So that's something that's been going on and growing on my Discord. So you can discover and dive in and learn more about that. There's some folks that are discussing and figuring out some things over on my channels. Why is my Discord is suddenly not responding here? Yeah. Right, 1 second. Let's see. Yes. There we go. All right. Your friend lives there. That's right, I forgot. I forgot that was your friend. Let me head back over here to the main screen. We can talk to chat a little bit. I'm going to get some music playing in the background, and then we'll dive in with chat a little. I'm going to play from the Synthwave playlist, and let me scroll down somewhere here, and let's start here with turn 1. This is music that's DMCA free. It's royalty free. Listen to it wherever you'd like online. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're going to be listening to just in the background today. All right. Etrub here says, I finally started taking some time to vibe code a bit with Cursor, and at least C#, right? C# is a programming language that I like to use. I took my screen name after it, and I like it so much. And Etram says, it's passable grade, like it can do some things, but wow, it struggles to keep up in code quality. I would not remotely hire anyone with the output I'm getting, even if it works. So let's talk a little bit about that. That is landing right on where I wanted to go and discuss and demo a little bit today and have a little bit of fun wandering around some code that we started previously and getting this to do a little bit more for us than some of the problems that it sounds like Etram's having. Of course, if you work in tech, you know and you've seen that using artificial intelligence to help code is what's in vogue right now, right? Folks are talking about it. Folks are really leaning in on this as something that can help you, something that can really be an experience for your one second, that can really be an experience to help you as a developer to get more done. And we're going to go through and let's talk a little bit about that, because you know what? You're right, Etram. Out of the box, it's not a great developer. But we can do things to curve that, to improve that, to have it move in a direction that will not just improve your experience, but enable it to deliver better code for you. So when we talk about the artificial intelligence technologies and tools and features that are out there, we're talking about tools like Copilot, like Cursor, like Claude Code. Gemini from Google is one that's out there, right? Claude Code from the folks at Anthropic, and Open Code from the folks at OpenAI. There's a bunch of different options here. I see Chuck is trying to light up a pin in the Mariana Trench. I see what you're doing there. Little did you know that the pins from earlier today are still there. So I only let folks write one pin at a time on the map. And you know what? Just for you, Chuck. Just for you. I will edit your pin and we can change that to Mariana Trench. And get that reallocated out there. And if you look at the map, there's now a pin where the Mariana Trench is in the middle of the Pacific. So continuing here, let me get back into the topic. So when we are talking about these various language models, and there's lots of other AI tools out there that stack on top of these various models that are provided by a number of very large companies, very, very expensive companies as well, right? Very large market cap companies. What you see is those language models are just text calculators. All they're doing is checking to see, right? And for a given context, here's the words that glued together fit the scenario that's been provided. And when we use
debugging is a test of will, and you're running out of time.
Oh no. Well, thank you. That's Charlie. That's my chat bot. He tends to get a little ornery at times. Let's stay tuned and keep an eye on what he's doing there. So what you end up doing you'll give that language model context. And what Etram's running into is if with no context, the language model just kind of does whatever it feels like, and it will write code like a 7-year-old. It'll write not very well structured, not very good quality code. Etram's best case right now is to make a template, then let it fill it out, then do cleanup pass afterwards, fixing small mistakes. So here's the deal. There's tools that you need to layer on top of just the plain language model to get it to think and understand. Think is the wrong word. But for us as humans, right, that's how we look at this. We want to get the AI to think a certain way. You don't want it's not actually thinking. It's got enough context that it's processing and delivering content that is shaped the way you want, that's structured the way you want. And for some of our folks who are tech people here, I hope you appreciate I am stepping down the tech level just a little bit in our discussion, because we've got folks watching from the public Gunnar channels and the Gunnar website. I want to make sure that I'm not speaking too far over the head. So Etram, I really appreciate your patience as we talk through this. So where I want to show you, where we're going to dive in a little bit here today, is there's a set of instructions that you can give the AI up front that will help to set the table, that'll help to give that backstory that the language model needs so it understands where you're coming from, right? When we tell people that they're going to be actors and you're going to portray, King Lear, you're going to be Caesar in Julius Caesar, what have you, whatever role it might be, right? That actor has some idea of what the backstory is of their character and what's going to happen with that character throughout the play, throughout the movie, whatever it might be that they're performing. So we'll get there. We'll get there. You're right. So when the actor has that backstory, right, they have that context of what the AI needs to know to perform the task ahead of them, right? The actor knows here's how I'm feeling. Here's my backstory. Here's why I'm going to be angry at certain things. Why I'm going to be sad at certain things. In the play, in the movie, we do that for the AI, and it's going to know how to better shape the interactions for you. And then you can start, once you give it that initial context, then we can start telling it things like, hey, make this application high performance. Hey, take a look at how this thing is running and let's optimize for various situations and make it better. And when Eitram says reduce clock cycles, right? That's developer speak for we want to use less processor. We want to have the computer think less about something. Hey, how you doing there, Dave? You knew you'd seen me somewhere. Where? You were at VS Live a couple weeks ago. Visual Studio Live. We were in Las Vegas at the Planet Hollywood Hotel. Yes. Hotel and casino, right? You took my lab. Oh my gosh. Yes. Mm-hmm. It was a fun lab. I taught a lab all about a technology called Aspire that helps you to glue together various parts of a larger software system. So hope you're having a great time in fabulous Las Vegas. Dave, do me a favor. Do me a favor. Let's see if we can get you on the map here. Right now our friend Scherer is there in Las Vegas. Oh, look, Nick. Yes, naming the Welsh town. How you doing, Nick? Do me a favor, Dave, just say hello again from Las Vegas and we'll get a pin on the map for you in Las Vegas. And of course you can drop in on the map. I'll make sure we get the link in chat there. Right there we go. And now we've got a pin for Dave in Las Vegas. Thank you so much. And Nick wants to tinker with Wales for us. And there's Joystick Nick right there. How you doing? Johan's in the Netherlands. We've got some folks dialed in from Europe there. How you doing, LA Face? Good to see you. The Darien Gap. Did it plot the Darien Gap? It did not. You love whales? Different kind of whales. That's not the same whales. Zarians in Oslo. Did we get Oslo? Yes. What is this? I'm not drawing pictures here. There we go. McNets, how's it going there? Thinking Brain in Tarancon, Spain. Yeah. Right? We got some Barcelona. We got which one's this one? Ocular Malice in Mars. I don't think that's it. Wales got dragons, red dragons. They're in the northeast corner of Wales. And those red dragons, they like to hang out at a race course. You know what I'm talking about. There you go. So we got a couple folks with a new one here. We need Aspire emotes on Twitch. Might be able to do something about that. Might be able to. Imagine a whale dragon. That's a really big dragon. Sorry, LA Face. I don't think it's going to take coordinates and plot that. So, I see what you're trying to do there. No! You hate this map. So, there are some fun things with this map that it will lead to. And as folks in my Discord have discovered, the library is open. So there is several things that you can get into with this interactive novel that we are experiencing live on my channels. Dave says, thanks to VS Live convinced upper management to start using Blazor. Fantastic. That's great to hear. You started the migration from ASP to Blazor last week. Congratulations. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. LA Face got her sword planted in Panama. There you go. So here's the thing, folks. Come here for a second. The moderators at one point on my channels were playing games, drawing pictures, planting pins on various continents. They drew a smiley face in Spain. In they took the entire is it the Iberian Peninsula? Am I saying that right? And made a smiley face with pins on the map. That was we don't carry the pins over from day to day, but they did that 2 weeks ago now, and because they have a tool that they can use, a location command they can use to help folks get their location set properly on the map. And see, that actually worked for the lanky Scottish nerd, and I'm shocked because the other coordinates it did not. So that location command works for individual viewers, and moderators can set it for anyone. So, all right. So we were talking about ways to configure the AI tools before all this started happening. Should I take a second and show what the deal is with that drawing on the map? I could do that and just drop the mic there. I could. I don't trust you on this one, lanky Scottish nerd, because you're way too deep. You know what's going on, kind of. And our friend Joystick Nick jumped in right away. Mythin, hello. So does location set work? Yes. It will set for yourself. Down the rabbit hole, as it were. You can quote Negan, yeah. So the map has several different features here where it plots various locations and you can zoom in and out. And no, I don't think it does.
Your
hello from
tongue is gonna turn black and fall out of your head if you lie to me.
Okay, now Charlie, my chatbot, is imitating my mother. I think this was a redeem that we had from St. Jude fundraising in December, and we decided that did work early. Oh no. We decided to put some mom quotes into Charlie for that. So there's a green line here, very faint green line. Do you see that?
Do you hear that?
No.
That is the sound of inevitability.
It is.
The sound of your code.
It is.
Failing.
And the glitches are turned off right now. Because I'm in educator mode. So this green line here looks kind of weird. And if you zoom in on it, it starts directly in Cardiff. If I grab there, the green line actually turns bold. If I start drawing, start moving my mouse, it draws. But if I grab there at Cardiff and I go out and follow that line, something happens. I'll let you go from there. So, take a look. There's a lot more underneath that. I have shown you the beginning, the entrance to how this whole thing starts. All right? Yes, Pandora's box is just open for you. And Lanky Scottish Nerd's friend is available on that terminal. So that's the doctor's location. No, the doctor's in a blue box. That's not the key to the library. No. We are at a new record for the last 7 days with 30 folks plotted on the map. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So I won't go in and explore more on that. I have shown you the way in. You can tinker and see what you find from there. So, but understand there's a lot more coming with that. All right. Yes, I have taught you how to fish. Now go fish. I want to go back and talk about some of those AI things to start making your experience a little bit better. And we had previously started with this idea of building a chatbot for Gunnar that is going to know things about the various Gunnar tools, the various Gunnar glasses, right? And today I'm wearing the Gunnar Echoes. They have these really cool, let me zoom back in. Let's get back up here. They have these really cool rubberized arms back here. It's a light wiry frame with rimless lenses in the front, nice set of nose pads on them, right? So it's really nice and light. It bends easy and fits on my face. And I have this nice curvature around where it comes almost down against my cheeks. And what they've done is they actually create a little bit of a microclimate between your eyes and the glasses, so that it tries to keep a little bit of humidity in there for you. Because when you work at a computer for a long time, you end up staring for a while, and you don't blink your eyes as much, so your eyes don't stay as moist. They do a nice job of that with the design of the Gunnar glasses to create this curved space to protect your eyes and keep them moisture. Check it out. You can find the online map. To answer McNett's. Oh, thank you, Sharer. All right. So, all right. Hey, Chris Funk. So I'll head back over, and what I had been doing, and that you can see here, I'll open my code tool, Visual Studio Code. I'm going to open this up. I haven't touched this in a while. Let's close all this stuff. We're going to close you too. When you're working with this, you can give the bot a series of instructions to start with. And in this Copilot instructions file, it looks like clear text. So what I suspect is happening, Etrim, is you don't have some instructions files out there that say, here's what I'm building, here's kind of the things that are important to me that I want you to build and keep your eyes on. But I'd like to point out that Joystick Nick hasn't found the new site yet. Yeah, taking a look here. Only a few people have found it so far. So once you have this that says, here's the overall types of things that I want to be able to do, then we can layer on what are called skills. And skills are ways that you can specifically say, here's a way to do a thing that I'm interested in. Now, I use C#, and the folks on the .NET team, the folks on the team that actually build and work with .NET, have their own skills that they've published for this that you can go and check out at github.com/.net/skills. And I bring this up because you said you were working in C#. If you take a look here, there's a series of different categories of skills that you can browse to and check out and bring into your project. These don't cost anything. This is just marked down on disk that says, here's ways to work on things. And I know you mentioned about, hey, make this run better, faster. So there's an agent here that you can point to that you can configure and start up and say, you're an agent. Instead of following all of those instructions, follow these instructions instead. And we're going to do performance reviews in this structure. The skills here, these are commands that you can drop into the various instructions, right, that you type into the chatbot to have it go and do things like generate a benchmark for me. And here's exactly how they do that. And things to be aware of, like cost awareness, entry points and configuration, how to run the benchmark and output and plan and do that. Very, very useful to help get to some of the things that you might be interested in. Now, skills are kind of a conditional thing, not kind of, they are. Only if you give the language model an instruction that matches this description in some way, will the language model actually use this skill. So, right, hey, I want you to do a benchmark.net benchmark of my application. Then it will load up this content and use it. Otherwise, it doesn't consider this at all. So you kind of have to ask it to work with this in order to get there. You have a bunch of them, but probably not enough about code quality and style guides. Okay, so next step, right? Here comes the crazy part that you can do. Are you ready for this? Let's see. Let's look for a code quality guide for C#. Right? Maybe you have a standard document that your team uses, right? C# code review checklist, .NET coding conventions. That's terrific. So here's some coding conventions about different ways that we want to do things. And I want it to stick by this. Ask the AI to build it for you. Right? So I'm going to run Copilot here. And I'm going to ask it, I want to build a coding standard skill for C# development. Create an appropriate... I realize I'm below the Gunnar logo there. Let me move that up. Skill MD for this coding standard using the official coding standards at that URL. And away we go. What's that you got there? You need an agent with a particular set of skills? Do you? Well, what I do have...
But what I do have...
What I do have...
are a very particular set of skills.
Very particular.
Skills I've acquired over a very long career.
Very long career. Can it use your editor config file? I don't think it does. But there's got to be a way to enforce that. Right, so it's looking at it. Right, I gave it that little instruction, and it's going out and getting that document. So, right, language model's really good at reading text and then reformatting it. And we've told it, I want you to put it into this format. And it's actually going and getting naming conventions as well. And it's going to put together these guidelines and standards. Now, for us in software development, this is so valuable. But think about some of the other things that non-tech folks do that this could be valuable for. You're working in preparing taxes. It's almost tax day. We've got 2 weeks to go and I still have to file mine. But you can send the language model, you can send Copilot, hey, here's the tax laws. Go look for this and tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to know. Go format whatever. And it will get you there. Do I want to edit? Yes, I do. Let me see here. Oh, look at that. Joystick Nick found another achievement. So here we go. So it created Skill MD at the repository root. Well, that's not where it goes. That's not where that goes. Place it in a folder appropriate for Copilot to use as a skill. And let it move and format this appropriately. But it created, right? It's down here. It's going to move in a second. And it also didn't add the front matter on this. So let's see what this does. Yes, and don't ask again. So, Mythin asks, have I already had the situation where I needed teams to communicate with each other? Yes. Yes. Yeah, go ahead and move that. It's no. No. I want the standard Skill MD format with front matter and folder names so that I can use skill commands to instruct Copilot to review and format code with those standards. So yep, go ahead and do that. So that's going to move some things out. Can it use your editor config file? I think we can. Wrong chat. Okay. All good. So yeah, go ahead and do that. I'm not putting it into, I can put it in YOLO mode. So, but it's not in autopilot mode where it'll just start deciding and figuring out things and go here. So it's creating a C# coding standards. That's the format we wanted. So there's been a couple emerging techniques with this technology that I'm getting tripped up on here. But once this is done, yeah, see, it's going to add... front matter is the name for... There's a little bit of instructions that go up at the top that help out in defining and building things in the right place appropriately. So, I hear you. What did you do? Yeah, C# coding standards. You put it in my home directory. No, I wanted that skill in the project folder, not my personal folder. So Copilot also has the ability to have skills that run at the user level, not just at the project level. So I want this to be in at the project level so that you out there can download and get access to these skills. However, there's also the personal level where it's a skill that's available every time I open Copilot, Claude, what have you. Well, it regardless of project, the AI put it in the personal folder. So there we go. So now if I come back over here inside GitHub, there's skills, C# coding standards, and here it is. So enforce official C# coding standards for this, that. Now, the only time this is actually going to run is if I tell it, hey, I want to view these or I want to enforce those coding standards, and it would go through and give me feedback on these. And there's even instructions here now for how to do a review and provide feedback. So I should be able... No, there's a way to turn that into a command. Right? C# coding standards. Oh, okay. Does it need to be .github? Skills list. I have a PowerPoint one, I have Sensei available, and I've got my C# coding standards. Okay. Review the code in this project and enforce my coding standards. And it should take a look, and we'll see it start up. It should start up the skill and say, okay, I'm using this skill, right there. And it's going to go enforce exactly that. I can hear the dog in the other room. So, come on. Reviewing the standards and... Good. Let me check the remaining key patterns. Go do that. So you can add these skills to help improve the way that it writes code, right? That's a start. There we go. Fantastic, right? Now, there was a question about what about editor config? Oh, you added a rule about C# regions? Yes. Fantastic. I do like regions in my code as well. Did you have to tell it 4 times before? Yeah. Every now and again, I'll run into a command that is instructions for the AI that are kind of the opposite of something that it's already been told to do, and it ends up getting a little ornery with me like that. You know? How you doing? Chantal's watching in Ontario. How you doing? Just outside Ottawa. I'm watching on the Gunnar Facebook channel. Great to see you. It's not bringing in... I don't have my map wired up to the Gunnar channels, so I'm not going to be able to grab that location. But thank you for saying hello. Well, maybe I can talk to our friends at Gunnar and we can get that set for next time, so that we're listening and bringing in Gunnar folks onto the map, some viewers from the Gunnar channels as well. So thank you. I appreciate you joining us. Now, this is okay. This is a thing at this point that, all right, you went and you've got this report, and I can tell it, make a plan from that report of how to go and fix and enforce those various standards. But what I can also do, I can use a squad. So a squad Squad is available as a tool that you can download and use at the command line. And if you go to, I will give you the magic URL because it's not Squad. If you go to this address, Brady Gaster GitHub IO/squad, it'll take you to this page that talks all about bringing in the Squad agent and tool set that you can use with GitHub Copilot. Now, Squad is designed only to work with GitHub Copilot. There are folks that are trying to get it to work with some of the other technologies. But right now, this is built with Copilot in mind. If you go and install this, you end up with a Squad command that you can use. And if we drop in here, yeah, that's the bottom of the screen from the browser. So what I can do is I can initialize this location by saying squad init. Boom, there we go. Fantastic. Now, if I go back into Copilot, I can tell it use squad with the command /agent, and it now knows about a squad. An agent is a series of rules and instructions that describes how Copilot should work. The squad agent tells Copilot, you actually have a collection of personalities, distinct personalities that have various roles, various charters assigned to them that they have available that they can use across the project, across what we're working on in this folder. And they can collaborate together. One second here. There we go. So I can set up a squad of different personalities that work on different facets. In my case, here, writing software, but I've also been able to set this up to do different projects, and the team members will collaborate with each other appropriately, and you can assign and design a project, and the team will break up those tasks and assign them appropriately to the various team members. So let's dive in here a little bit. First thing we can do is we need to establish our squad for the project we're working on. And in this folder that we have here, we're working on a little chat bot for Gunnar that's going to learn about the various Gunnar Glasses products that are on their website and make a chatbot that knows about them using a technique called RAG, Resource Augmented Generation, right? We're going to look at all of our resources, we're going to augment the results and generate a fantastic response that helps folks. So let me allocate a squad for this, and I'd like a squad of folks that have killer sunglasses. No, not even killer sunglasses. Let's just go with characters from Top Gun. How's that sound? Let's make them our squad team members. And they're just names that we're going to use to identify the various AI agents that we're going to be able to assign tasks to, all from the console right here. So let me set that up. I'm even going to use dictation. There it is. I'd like to allocate a squad to work on this project to build a RAG-enabled chatbot for Gunnar that will run in its Discord channels and help to answer customer questions about Gunnar products. Period. Let's allocate a squad of personalities from the Top Gun movies. Because, man, did they have some killer sunglasses, those aviator sunglasses on Top Gun. You know what I'm talking about. Maverick and Goose. Oh, Goose. Had some killer sunglasses, and don't even get me started on Iceman and his way too white teeth. I'm going to put this into autopilot mode, so it just kind of runs. Resume in autopilot mode. Autopilot says you're approved to do everything and just keep right on going. There it is, right there like that. 1 second here. There we go. So it's going to allocate, and hey, that's me. And it's going to, it has a team allocated here. And the team ends up being a series of markdown files, just like we saw before. So for those of you out there that might look at this and say, gosh, I'm a little intimidated. I'm not a technical person. You know, I would love to be able to use some of this. This is all what we call markdown. It's all clear text that doesn't have any programming built into it. So this is something that you're going to be able to see right away here. You can interact with and write and tune, and you'll be able to understand. Let me let this finish running here. I'm going to wander back over here to talk to more of this. Space Shot's been using this, and he's been using Squad a bit. Tried a technique where one agent was the planner and had high-level domain chats with it. So Space Shot was talking to a planner personality in the AI, and then had another agent that would write tests based on that discussion. Okay, another agent wrote the implementation, so actually created the code that satisfied those tests that the planner and Space Shot specified. Brilliant. If you think about it, yourself as a project manager, maybe as a general contractor for a project, you have folks that specialize, the plumber, the carpenter, the electrician, and you had an architect come through and they've got plans for the house, for the renovation you're doing, and you're interpreting that and giving those plans directions out to the various folks. That's what Space Shot did here in a software project. I managed communication, though. While it worked out, I've been happier going with Squad and YOLO. Terrific. Just let it go. YOLO is you only live once, and it's a great way to kick things off and just let it run. What MCP servers do I have there? I have GitHub. I have the Microsoft Learn documentation turned on, and I do have Aspire loaded in, but it's not going to do anything because it's not running right now. The Top Gun Squad makes these choices about software, not cheap, fast, not good, but pick speed. Stay above 60. Yeah. McNets, you're looking for some hints. Ask for help. That might be a good place to start. And some of you that are out there, the other thing you can do, McNets, take a look in the Discord, in my Discord. You'll see some stuff. You did. Terrific. What did help tell you to do? Weeding Wainbow, Wavar Wharton, it loves that screen name. Wavar? Sure. How much does it cost to run a squad? I'm assuming it depends on token usage. Wrong. Let me explain that in a second. But maybe you could give it a general idea in relation to how I've been using squad agents. Well, I'm going to let this one request finish here, and we'll take a look in just a second while it sets up all the information about the squad, and we'll be able to see exactly what it did here. And we'll proceed from there. So, yeah, what did it tell you when you asked for help? There we go. That chime means Copilot's done. Let's go take a look. So, task complete. The team has been hired, and the Top Gun universe has been set for the Gunnar chatbot. So Viper is our lead, right? Viper, that was Tom Skerritt in the first movie, right? He was the lead instructor at the Top Gun fighter school. Maverick, of course, he's a back-end developer who's going to write some services, integrate with Discord. Goose is our data engineer who's going to work on all the things database and the AI. Phoenix is our tester. I don't remember Phoenix. Who's going to run some tests, work on quality and some of the edge cases. And then I've got a scribe. That's kind of the note taker that's making sure to keep the team coordinated. And then we have Ralph at the end as is a monitor. And Ralph takes care of managing the work queue, the backlog, and does a little bit of team micromanagement for us. So, taking a look here then, I can start to give them instructions, but I've given one instruction here, and we can go / usage. And I actually, did I give it two? I might have given it one. I'm not sure. But I'm running with a premium model here that has a 3x multiplier. So every time I send in a request, it actually costs the same as 3 requests. So it's used 6 premium requests, and it's used 1.1 million tokens being passed in. 12.8 thousand tokens have been returned. 900,000 have been cached. So here's the deal. When you're using GitHub Copilot, you're not measured by how many tokens you used. You're measured, and your quota is set on the number of requests that you use. So while it passed in a lot of tokens, it's actually only using, in my case, 6 requests. Now I'm using a premium model. I could scale back and use a less sophisticated model. Right? If I go /model, I can wander down here and choose Claude Sonnet 4.6. And now each one of my requests is 1 request. That's okay. That's good. So when I send in a request, when it fans out to the team, it doesn't, the additional agents on the team doing work doesn't actually add additional work to me, right? It doesn't take additional requests. So let's do this. I want you to fan out the team to take a look at the current pairs of glasses that are promoted on the Gunnar website. The Gunnar website is at www.gunnar.com. Almost. Tell me more about, look at the current promoted that are promoted on the front page. Let's say the front, on the front page of the Gunnar website. I know it spelled it wrong there, but that's okay. Tell me about each pair, and compare them. So I gave it 1 request, right? We had 6 premium requests we sent in earlier, and we'll just see this little bit of comparison. This is how you can start to use Copilot and Squad, even though it's a GitHub product. It's a product intended for software developers. You can use it for things that aren't software, right? I'm asking it to go look at a website, take a look at what's there, research each product in detail, and come back. So here you go. Goose and Viper are on it, hitting the Gunnar website in parallel, right? In parallel means they're both going at the same time. And you see right there. So Goose is going to scrape the featured products from the front of Gunnar. And then Viper is going to analyze and compare the lineup. I think it dropped the P at the end there. It should be the lineup. So there we go. They're off and running and doing that analysis. And you can even see here, look at that. It's opening the browser to go see what we have on the Gunnar website. And there's a guy in the corner down there that's getting started. So, oh man, I'm seeing Joystick Nick is getting to it over there in the Discord. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate you checking out our alternate reality game, our interactive novel over there. Claude claims to be helpful, harmless, and honest. How pedestrian, says Charlie. That's right, he is pedestrian. So I'm going to click away from the website back over here so we can see its thinking. So here it is. It's cataloging the featured products from the homepage, and Viper's going to go analyze those. So Viper's already done analyzing, even though this isn't done cataloging. It's kind of interesting. Shouldn't have been done yet, should it? Scherer says, here's mine right now. All other models have 0 requests, but millions of tokens. Yeah, there you go. With 23 premium requests. Nice. Space Shot's also seen where the lead will spawn the agents using a 1X model for the task. Yes. And it will say, I don't need an expensive model for this. Yes. So take a look up here. It started at each of those agents with the Haiku model. Now, Claude Haiku is an inexpensive model that's really good at analyzing text. It's smaller, it's faster. It doesn't need to be as sophisticated. So what the squad has decided is that it's going to use this smaller model that actually isn't a 1x multiplier. It's not a 3x multiplier like that Opus model I was initially using. It's a 0.33 multiplier. It's a 1/3 multiplier. So it takes me 3 requests to be charged for 1. Now, I'm counting the number of requests here. When you look at look at this coming back. When you look at I'm gonna wait to scroll down there. When you buy Copilot, you're paying for a certain number of requests per month. We're here at the beginning of the month, and you get a couple hundred requests for the Pro level, and it's like 1,500 requests at the Pro Plus, the top level. So there's choices and options, and then when you hit any kind of overage, you get 25 requests for $1. That's the current model for over there. But we're not talking about Copilot. We're talking about Gunnar glasses. So here's the featured lineup that it has on the front page. Check that out. So it's got Novato, Tindra Reading, the Fallout Lucky 38, the Fallout Brotherhood of Steel, the Echo, those are the ones I'm wearing, Terra, the Witcher Siri, Clicks Gaming goggles, and is it Visor? So, and it's telling me the tier, the price in US dollars, primary use, and standout features. So that took just a few seconds for it to come back. Some key differentiators, gaming specific ergonomics, the Echo, right? I like that because it has the flexibility back here for when I'm wearing a headset. It doesn't pinch too much on my ears. Best for streamers like me. Terra has oversized lenses for panoramic viewing. The Visor, Echo, and Terra high wrap design. So those, right? Right, the new arrivals up here. There's Terra. Where's there it is. I have a pair of these, and it almost makes me feel like I'm Tracer from Overwatch. Really cool. And they have that nice wraparound, and there's no barrier in the middle, so you can see everything. It's a very cool pair of glasses. Stop it. Let's see here. So, chatbot decision tree. So here's the recommendations. So, what's the use case? Then budget. So best for gaming. So one of those 3, or clicks, and so on and so forth here. So Goose is still running on his deeper data pass. Once he's done, I'll actually fire up the scribe to commit the product catalog. So it's actually going and bringing back some more. He caught something Viper missed. Borderlands 4 collab products, Maxi and Ripper. Those are pretty cool ones that look like they're right out of Borderlands. Mystery boxes. So the Lucky 38, Brotherhood of Steel. I don't see them here. Are they under new arrivals? It really went and found them. There's the clicks. There we go. Borderlands, Moxie and Ripper. So, Tindra is specifically positioned as Gunnar's first reader designed for women. Hero Banner is running a discount right now. Nice. Fallout Lucky 38 is an Amazon Studios collab. The Fallout 38 with the side shields, those are kind of cool. I have the Brotherhood of Steel, and they're a bit of a like a pilot interceptor glasses with leather. Those aren't, no. These are the Witcher glasses. Oh my gosh, I'm confusing them. I think I have them in the other bag in the other room, because I took them with me to Sweden when I went to Sweden. No matter. Always really cool glasses that you can find on the Gunnar website. And, right, you can get these customized. My wife has a pair that she had turned into prescription glasses that she wears to work, so that she's got that good comfort and blue blocking when she's at work, at the office there. So my point here in showing this is something easy that I can do, and it even wrote out a report for me. And look, even to set up some ingestion here. So it cataloged 11 products and gave me that. So it's giving me some options here what to do next. So here's the active promotion and so forth on this report. But to the question of usage, right? I sent in one more command, and it took up 2 requests because it did a little bit of follow-up there that it decided to do. So for the last 20 minutes, it ran for only 10 of those. And you can see it's used, what, almost 5 million tokens? Doesn't matter. 8 requests. In the pricing model for Copilot that we have here at the time of this stream in April, 8 requests. I like that. I like that a lot, right? I can do a lot with that to learn, analyze, and put this data together. Now, it wrote this into this docs folder. So let's go dig that up. And it wrote Gunnar product catalog, current as of spring 2026. Oh. Thank you for the follow. 10-foot screws. Those are some pretty big screws you got there. So the performance tiers, the lens technologies, it went and analyzed and found all of this, right? New arrivals, and it only analyzed what was at the top, right? We could have crawled more of the site to get more of these current promotions, and then there's chatbot detection logic, decision logic that it's suggesting for us, and a product matrix summary. Now, right, there's my last update, and it only looked at the homepage, new arrivals and best sellers. We can, of course, have that formatted so we're not looking at all the markup stuff, and we can actually see what's going on here, right? Cool. Really cool stuff. Easy way to dive in. And we've used right, we haven't written any programming. We haven't actually had to go build anything to go crawl the website and pull together suggestions for us, right? We're just using and learning about the products from interacting with the AI. So, right, theoretically now, I could say, based on I'm going to reference that file directly, the Gunnar product catalog. I'm interested in getting a pair of prescription sunglasses. Period. What model do you suggest and why? Now, I want to show these demos so that you can see we're picking up and learning a little bit more about the capabilities of what a language model can do. We're not doing any coding at this point. We're just talking to it in plain non-technical speak here, and we're really getting and learning and figuring something out. Is McNett still out there? McNett, how you doing? You were asking the terminal for help. Did you find anything? I don't think you. I want to make sure you're not stuck here, and that you can catch up and see a little bit more of what's going on. So here we go. The user asked about prescription sunglasses based on the product catalog. I already answered the question directly. Oh, okay. Here it is. So it's stopping it. There we go. So, top pick, the Nevada, which is a pro esports type of pair of glasses at $130. Full prescription support. Proprietary polyamide lenses. I'm going to have to ask Joe how you pronounce that. Lowest chromatic aberration of any model. Better color accuracy outdoors. Okay. Spring hinges, double warranty. 20% off lenses promotion active right now. Wider fit, comfortable. And the runner-up are the Echo glasses like I have here. Full prescription support eligible. Best pick if budget is a concern. The catalog confirms a sun lens type exists, but none of the 11 featured products explicitly listed as an available lens option. You'll want to confirm availability. So there you go, right? There's more that we can do with this, but having this really friendly interaction, now that it knows just the basics of the products, goes a long way, right? So that's what I want to do next. I want to have this squad of various personalities take a look at the code that we've written, come back with some suggestions, evaluate it, and tell me what we can do to improve this. So let's do this. I'm going to do new. Review the code in the current folder for the project, the task of building this very helpful chatbot for our friends at Gunnar Glasses. Period. The end goal is that we have this chatbot that can hang out in Discord and answer questions, provide links and images of the various pairs of glasses that folks might be interested in learning about. Period. Review the source code and give me a status, as well as plan 3 sprints of project work that we should consider in order to move this project forward. And it's going to go and start building this. Folks, that sounds like my command. I say the word folks a lot. How you doing there, 10-foot? I see you over there in the Discord. Welcome. I don't have any of the glitches or things with Charlie happening over here on this channel as we're teaching and working with Gunnar. But Charlie will drop in and say a thing or two. And McNetz was mentioning, yes, things are on the map. And I showed I showed a little bit of the discovery here on the map for folks that were interested. So you can go back and rewind in the VOD and see more of that if you'd like. So I'm going to let that run for a little bit. Let me head over. Let's talk to chat a little bit here. VTJ Suave says, I'm a seasoned developer. I have no issues using AI as a coding tool, but struggling to get my feet wet with this agent stuff. The squad looks especially cool. Any helpful videos, tips to get started in this new agentic world? I did a pair of videos about Squad about a month ago that you can find on my YouTube channel that introduces and talks about this. What you'll find is that the agents that you can work with, right? Those are distinct personalities that you work, that you talk to, that have not just a personality, but they have a goal, they have a way that they do things that's kind of defined as their personality, their charter. When you use Squad, the Squad sets up so that it has child personalities, right? There are a series of, there are multiple personalities for individual, for a family of agents that it knows how to work with, that for the tech folks, it creates as different tasks inside of a single request. So you pass in a request and it fans out. It creates multiple tasks that it assigns to the charter for those various agents. And in our case, we're creating these Top Gun agents. So if I go back over to my code tools, to Visual Studio Code here, let me show you. We can talk a little bit about this. I want to make sure that you're comfortable and you get a good answer here, VTJ. So my squad is written into a folder here inside the project. So it's on disk. I can actually look at all of the description of the charters and personas for these for these squad agents that we're working with. And they're here in this agents folder. And there you see Goose, Maverick, Phoenix, Ralph, the Scribe, and Viper. And down here is this Team MD. And it's just another document that you can open and read that says, here's the members of the squad and what they do. So there they are. That's their role. And you can find their charter, their description of their role in these folders. So let's go pick on Maverick for a second here. Maverick has a charter. He's a back-end developer. Works on building the engine that makes the bot fly, but has expertise in these technologies. So .NET, the Discord libraries we're going to use, Aspire, Docker, service architectures. Moves fast, writes clean C#, and keeps the services focused. So this was generated by the squad agent when I said, I need a group of folks that do this. There he goes saying folks again. You called me on this, Patty boy.
You keep using the word.
I do.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
It does mean what I think it means. So, and this is just the description of, this is what Maverick does, right? Nothing technical here. There's a little bit of direction here about how to collaborate. It is kind of folksy. The way that I talk like that. So this is how it specifies how it's going to interact with the other agents. And when we look in the history here, it says, well, here's things that I've learned and done. Now we know, was it Viper it sent off to do some things? No, which one did it send off? No, I don't see them. All right. I guess it didn't. I thought it did. Routing that describes how they collaborate with each other. Here's the log. Here's what it did. And what it found and so forth. It's all written here on disk for you to go spelunk through and discover and do more with. So it's like it collapsed out the data that I was looking for. Back here, so this is what it found, and it looks like it already started running. Yeah, it did. Stop. It just went and started implementing stuff. Hang on, back up. I'm trying to teach here. I told it to review the code and give me some plans. Should have told it to stop. So here's what it found exists. And it created a to-do list with 17 items. Create a Discord bot. You're welcome. And VTJ, let me know if there's things to clear up. Happy to answer questions. That's what I'm here for, right? Added Ollama chat model. Ollama is an AI language model that's built by our friends at Meta, right? They're the folks behind Facebook, right? And various capabilities for Discord interactions, brand system prompts for Gunnar, and so on and so forth. Rate limiting, abuse prevention, product recommendation quiz. That sounds like a neat feature. So Back-end data pipeline is well built. Crawling, embedding, and vector search all exist. But the bot doesn't actually talk to Discord yet. The Discord library is installed. There's zero Discord code wired up. And it's got some analysis of these things work, these things don't. So it put together, here's some plans that I'm going to have the project team do. And very clearly, these are tasks that you would assign to a group of folks to go and build. Now, some of this is technical and they make sense for software developer folks. And if you're not a developer looking at this, some of this does make sense. What? Yeah. It does make sense, and it kind of adds up here. And then here's Sprint 2. Here's the next project it's going to do after it finishes the first one. And then polish and ship. Here's the things we're going to do to make sure that it works just right for our friends at Gunnar Glasses. So it decided, I'm going to continue autonomously, and I'm going to use another premium request to actually start working on it. And it was going to town, implementing and working on things. And, right, I need to fix this. I need to clean up some things. It's not using additional requests at this point. So I stopped it. And if I do another slash usage, I see some questions in chat. I'll come to that in a second. 2 premium requests. 2. Resume work. Stop at the end of this sprint and give me a report. Yeah, there we go. Let me see here. VTJ asks, do I find this tooling works the same in VS Code versus the full Visual Studio product, or is one better than the other? I find the command line works the fastest because it doesn't have those other tools that are in there trying to help. I'm kind of a no-nonsense guy. There are folks that I know that like to open the terminal up in Visual Studio Code, and they'll use this full screen and work here, and then they can bounce into the files, and they're all in one application. They don't have to work. They don't have to bounce around between different tools like you see me alt-tabbing. Of course, I've got a really big screen here that I work with, and when I'm actually working, I put Visual Studio Code next to the command line so that I have both running at the same time and I can watch things. Full Visual Studio is really great when you need to do performance tuning and other insightful things where you need to pull all the tools together and have that complete development experience. Visual Studio has some great wire up for Copilot and the tools that are in there. But here at this level where I'm teaching and I'm trying to show the basics and get things done in a no-nonsense way, and I'm not doing some of that performance and larger project type of thing, I like working at the command line and reviewing stuff in VS Code. Brady Gaster, how you doing there, friend? We're on the front page of gunnar.com. If you head over there, you can see we're talking about AI to our friends that are watching out there. From shopping for glasses, I'm wearing my Echo glasses right now. Right, these are available. They're a prescription. They're available. It said you can also get these as sunglasses. Really great stuff. Check it out while you're watching either on Gunnar's Instagram, or you're watching on their Facebook or their Mixer feed or friend feed or ICQ, wherever it is you're watching Gunnar. Yeah, we're. What? Oh, okay. Yeah, you can check out the Echo glasses. These are one of my favorites right now to wear. I do have, where'd they go? The Visor glasses, but they look a little weird on me. Not gonna lie, I feel like they look just a little weird. Not a lot weird, a little weird. They're a bigger pair of glasses like this. While I'm getting these out, there's a question here: are premium requests like tokens? No. Premium requests are nothing like tokens. A premium request is when you ask the agent to do something. You give it one instruction, right? And like I gave it that instruction just a little bit ago here. Right, where did it go? I gave it the instruction, resume work, stop at the end of this sprint. That was one request. It's fanning out, and the team is working on various parts of that right now, and they're going to come back. I said team, but I meant squad. So, these are the Visor glasses. I love them in black. They look kind of evil like that, you know what I mean? So it's staging the files, and it's actually finished sprint 2, it says. So, like, I feel like it shows too much of my forehead here, and it feels like it's suction cupped to my face. But these are really, really cool to use. But I do like the Echo glasses. Oh, look at this, Brady. Now Brady's doodling in chat. Build a Counter-Strike clone. No errors, no mistakes. That's going to take a while to do. And it's not going to do it all at once. Right? Here we go. So it stopped for us. Let me head back over and we can take a look. So it finished here and it said, okay, here's my sprint report. 1 and 2 are complete. And it gives me this nice little formatted report. Here's the various files that it built, what they do, and here are the files that it modified. But before you can run it, we need to set up connections to Discord. And here's what's next. So 6 to-dos. Here are the various tasks to work on. We'll complete that, and here's a summary of those files that it worked on. And once again, if we do usage, I gave it a command to finish the project, and it was our 3rd request, right? You're going to forever squad with yourself in teams? That sounds dirty. I don't know what you're talking about there. This is a family-friendly stream. Good luck. You're taking off for the weekend? Oh, man. That's early. Let me try catching up with you later, my friend. So, amazing what it says it's done. Oh, I've been waiting for that. That's one I've been waiting for. So, let's take a look over here in the source code that it wrote. And, like, I can see here, here's our chatbot. Here's all the ways that it interacts with Discord. And, so, rate limiting, it built for us. And we can take a look in here and look, is this user allowed to send a query? They might have sent in too many in the last minute to allow it to continue working. So, building a very simple rate limiter. The query service, how it's going to go and query our vector database called Quadrant. And here's the prompt that it's going to put together to send in to the language model after it has. Here's the collection of various models to look at. So you are Gunnar Bot, the official Discord assistant for Gunnar Optics. Where's my friends there from Gunnar? Are they watching? Because I think this is where it's going to start to get interesting for them. The leading brand in gaming and computer eyewear. You are helpful, friendly, and have deep knowledge of all Gunnar products. You speak with the enthusiasm of a fellow gamer who genuinely loves the products. Your responsibility, help users, explain lens technology, describe performance tiers, answer questions, recommend specific products, share product prices, lens options, and links. Nice. So, tone guidelines, there you go. Gaming lingo naturally. Look at that GG, clutch, level up, but don't overdo it. Can we tell it to use the word John a little bit? Chat room, do you think that's... Can we drop a little Philly in there and tell it to use the word John? So tone guidelines, formatting, use bold text for product names and key specs. Use bullet points for feature lists. Keep responses under 400 words unless question demands more detail. Only if we add yins. Pittsburgh. The Penguins fan. And y'all, I see what we got there. Our southern friends and Pittsburgh friends. And then if we're in Cincinnati, Cleveland, we got to do Skyline. We got to put chili on spaghetti or something like that. Right? That's a thing over there. I don't know. They're just weird in Ohio. I don't know. Oh, what about... Wait, hang on. 1975, we won a Stanley Cup. That was the last time we won a Stanley Cup. Oh, gosh. Looks good. So we can turn this into a little bit better formatted output. Tweak that a little bit. And so that's the prompt, right? This is the command. Just like you saw me ask questions of Copilot, this is how we're going to set up the language model so that it looks at and learns how to behave and be an extension, a member of the Gunnar team that can help their potential customers, right? So handle a query will log some information. It'll do a search for similar products in the vector database, right? And that's right. A vector database is kind of like looking in a search engine. It's got all kinds of different angles and ways to look at data, right? And find relevant Gunnar products, put together with conversation history. I think we can do this better using agent framework than just straight chat client. Excuse me. Yeah. Let's go back. Let's take a look at how we're using the query service for the bot to interact with the language model, period. I'd like to use an agent model approach so that we maintain a conversation for each user that's interacting with the bot. Right? Because when you start talking to a chat bot and you continue your conversation with it, you want it to maintain the conversation with you, even if Skippy, your buddy that's sitting down the way, starts talking to it also. Skippy effectively gets a second instance of the chat bot that is paying attention to Skippy's conversation, but your conversation is not private to you, but is yours alone, and we don't want the chatbot to be distracted from it. So here we go. It's refactoring to an agent conversation model. Nice. So let's see how this goes a little bit. How you doing there, Neotronus? Welcome in. You had to iterate a bit on a Discord bot when she started using words like OMG a lot. OMG. To get a little bit of variety in the response. Nice. Am I doing DMs or in a channel? Right now, I'm going to be doing in a channel. We could set this up to do DMs, direct messages. Right, we're very, very much at the beginning. Let's see where this takes us and refine from there. But suggestion well heard. Yeah, I think you're right. That's probably a good idea to, at some point, take conversations private in a direct message capability. So, yeah. I see the problem clearly. Right now we're doing a lossy round trip. Conversation turn, rebuild chat message list. Yeah, no. Right. Can we use the Microsoft Agent Framework with this so that we do have a conversation that we can cache and manage for each user? There we go. And the Microsoft Agent Framework is a library that's available to us that allows us to get that type of isolation and tool lookup and usage that you saw me use with right here at the command line with Copilot, so that it would look up and find products on the Gunnar website. So I think I lost McNats. Rats. Oh darn. And I think Joystick Nick is at the terminal and hasn't found the other website yet. Tim, hello. Good to see you, friend. There's our friend Tim Bodette. Hello, he's another streamer friend. Welcome in. We're on the Gunnar channels here. You're very welcome for the raid. So Tim does a great job as an independent game developer, building games that are fun and interesting out there. So Eric with a question. Let me take this one right here. Can Claude Code be configured to work with Copilot and Squad? No. Squad is designed right now to work with Copilot only. You can do some experimenting and see what's needed to be updated to work with Claude. We believe Copilot is the best experience for this because you can use any model you want from any vendor on Copilot. Gemini, Claude, the OpenAI models, they're all available for you. And you have the trust that you're going to have your privacy maintained when you opt out. You can opt out of having your information
I want
scanned.
to play a game.
Oh,
it's
do
called
you?
Find the Bug Before It Finds You.
Well, I'm working on that. All right. I've got the squad working on this. Hey, Rossum, hello. Popping out of lurk that you've been really enjoying the game. Well, thank you. Rossum, if you look in the Discord, in the Signal discussion channel, our friend Frank grabbed a screenshot from stream earlier today where Charlie was talking about the library being open and it's available on a new protocol. So there might be something there that can help you take some next steps and get a little less frustrated. Yeah. So I think what you're going to find, Rossum, is the map is just the beginning. It's not the only place that you're going to be playing at as this larger novel grows. Take a look, see what you find. Neotronus comments here that the lock-in is sad in Claude Code. So the Claude folks have shared some of their specifications for some of the ways that folks write prose and spec documents that Claude knows how to run, interpret, and use, and they have been adopted by Copilot, by Gemini, so that there is a growing ecosystem of compatible technologies. Skills is a perfect example of this. You can go to skills.sh and get skills that'll work for Claude Code, for Gemini, for Copilot, and be able to use them, and Codex, and be able to use them in any one of those equally. So it creates that same type of package ecosystem that we have with NPM. Scherer knows what I was just referring to. I think Frank does too. Nah, we took a little break in the middle and we got back online for our friends at Gunnar for a stream right now. We're live on the front page of gunnar.com. Not just the front page, we're just in the corner. Hello. You can see us down there. So thank you. So there are capabilities and things that we're going to be adding to this, and we're trying to avoid the lock-in here, and that's why I was just asking Copilot to put in the Microsoft Agent Framework. So the one thing that .NET developers do better than anybody else is introduce layers of abstraction in their code, right? By layers of abstraction, for the non-tech folks, I mean that there's a contract defined between various components inside their applications. And as those applications grow, they can swap in new implementations that do something similar, right? But have additional features, have new modern capabilities, newer, faster techniques to interact with things. And with the agent framework and with some of the other technologies we're using, we can upgrade and swap in different models. We can swap in different prompts. We can swap in different technologies that allows that to grow without us rewriting our entire application, right? Think about it. If you want to replace, if Mrs. C Sharp Fritz is listening, I'm going to get smacked on this. If you want to replace the faucet on your sink, I happen to have a faucet downstairs I have to replace on a sink in the kitchen. If you need to replace that, there's a standard set of mounts in that sink. And if you know how to swap out those couple of plumbing connections, not bad. Easy to do, and you're up and running. You didn't need to replace the entire sink. If you had to replace the entire sink, that's a lot more work. So much more that you need to modify. You might need to cut your kitchen counter so that it better fits the sink, and you might have to move some pipes around. But if you're just replacing a faucet, well, a faucet is a pretty standard hookup. So we can swap that in because it has the same type of connector, same type concept, right? We can do that in our code so that we can upgrade things faster, easier, better. And .NET developers in particular are really good at this because we like to avoid something called technical debt, right? We don't want to always have to go back and rewrite the same thing over and over and over again. So by providing these interfaces, they cost us nothing to include along the way, right? It's a couple extra lines of code along the way to define, here's how I'm always going to connect up making queries to the database. Great. So when I change database later, maybe I move from actually using a database to querying a website, putting something on disk in some other storage location, adding some other capabilities to that, whatever it might be. I can drop in a new implementation and just remove the other one when I'm ready. A little bit of adapter pattern, you got it. A little bit of adapter pattern, repository pattern as well. Repository pattern and adapter pattern are kind of the same. So, let's see. Eric on YouTube says, I haven't used Claude Code, but Word just said everyone is getting a license, and we're working hard to be an AI-first company. Nice. Hey, that's great. Napalm, I think the real sales pitch gets lost in the name for MAF. It's agents, not workflows. It is. It is, and it's more workflow. So, you're trying to also be smarter with the AI. There you go. You don't want to burn tokens for no reason. There you go. Start writing some skills, my friend. Yep. So what you can do, right now, coming back to a little what Etram was mentioning earlier, as we round down near the end of our stream with Gunnar here. Now it went and right, what did I tell it to do? Oh, I told it to use the agent framework, right? So it went and changed things up a little bit here. Now I can do something like this. That's right, there he is. There they are. I don't want to use pronouns that aren't expected. I want to make sure I gender correctly, right? I can do something like this. Review the code and architecture that we have at this point through these 2 sprints and suggest ways that we can make it better, period. I want to use memory better, network better, even make sure that we're using our processor a little bit better. and it's actually going to do a little bit of that analysis and come back with some suggestions for us. You're working on a skill to explain your feature. What a great idea, right?
I'm always happy to help, sir.
Well, thank
Though
you.
happy may be beyond my programming.
Well,
Obligated is more accurate.
yeah, that's right. You're obligated. Don't forget, Charlie, I can hit Control C on you and stop you. I can pull the plug. We're going to place an order to Intel for more RAM. Oh no. The price of RAM right now is just too high. Oh, it's so high right now. It's kind of ridiculous. And quite frankly, to get a Raspberry Pi 5 with 16 gig of RAM is it's cheaper than actually buying the 16 gig of RAM. Like, wait a sec. I can get a Pi with 16 gig for $200, but if I want to just buy the 16 gig, it's like $5. What? So, yeah, that's a thing. So you can see it's doing a code review and architectural suggestion, and it'll come back here in a little bit. It's 300 now? Oh, man. So, you need to revive a Pi 2 with the cost of things? Yeah. And trying to run an AI model on a Pi is not a joyful experience. It does take a bit of time, and it might not work the best, to be sure. One second here. There we go. No, it wasn't an April Fool's thing. No. And I get it, right? The Raspberry Pi is a nonprofit organization, nonprofit foundation, and they need to maintain their pricing structure. So I get it. I totally get it. And their costs and their margins. So here we go. Look at these suggestions it has for us. Memory, rate limiter, unbounded memory leak. Every user who ever sends a message gets a permanent queue in the concurrent dictionary. Uh-oh. Users who go inactive are never evicted. Over weeks, this grows forever. Oops. So let's use a sliding window rate limiter or replace the concurrent dictionary with an iMemory cache. I like the idea of having a memory cache so entries expire. Actually, I even, better than that, I like using a Redis distributed memory cache so that we use another service that'll store your discussion offline. I'm working here, dog. Thank you. / command service, active quizzes, and abandoned quiz leak. Has no expiration. Once again, no expiration. Done buffering entire HTML pages on the web crawler service. Double buffering. Oops. So that's going to be a problem that we can address. So, right, these are things now that I can take and prioritize and have it work on, right? Want me to start implementing on these? Additional findings from deep analysis. So, all good suggestions that now we can understand and do more with. I like it, right? So, I'm going to continue iterating on this, seeing where I can take this. For now, I'm going to commit and push these changes out to the GitHub website, the source code repository, where we've been working on this. I'll share the link to that, and I'll reach out to our friends at Gunnar and see if this is something they're interested in me pushing a little bit, rolling, and if that's something they want to see as part of their Discord interactions. But for now, I think I'm winding down here, and we can start wrapping things up. right? I'm taking a look here. I want to make sure that my producer on the Gunnar channels is coordinated here with me. We did a bit here today talking about the various things that are going on with how you can use a language model, how you can get it to help building agents, talking a little bit about skills, working more on how these things all affect us and how we can do more than just write code with the AI, with the coding AI right there at the command line, right? Open the terminal and just start talking to it. Dr. Dynamite says, Squad is amazing, just the way I can chat to my Pokemon. There you go, right? Have you tried this, Dr. Dynamite? Add a member to your squad and tell it that it has the personality of, name a Pokemon, right? Pikachu, Squirtle, whatever. And then you can talk to that character and the AI will act like it. That's interesting. That gets interesting. So think about this. If you're writing a book, I don't know who might be doing that. You can assign to a squad member, you are this character from the book, and here's your entire backstory. I want to be able to ask you questions as I write things. Ernest P. Worrell. Ooh. Happy Easter, Eric. Hope you have a good weekend. So there's all kinds of neat things you can do as you set up the charter and the personalities for these various agents and characters that you're working with as an AI, so that it brings that perspective, it brings those roles and responsibilities to perform the tasks in the way that you want, because they know and have that background set up right. We talked about the charter, the background context that explains what they can do. It's a lot of fun. I've been having a great time working with them, working with my squad, developing and building things live on stream and off stream. So folks have been checking out the map and they found their way into a couple things. I showed that green line on the map does something interesting. You can check that out as well. But there's a couple more things that I think Rossum and a couple other folks should take a look at that we learned earlier today on my other stream that might help you a little bit with that experience. But I'm winding down here. Have a good one, Napalm. I'm going to be winding down and heading off to get ready for some dinner myself as well. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I'm trying to coordinating here. Let's see. Yeah, have a fantastic evening. Wherever you are, I hope you have a great time, whatever it is that you might be doing. And check out the map. Check out some of the things that are going on in my Discord. Your explain feature kind of works. Hey, that's great. You know what? Now try this, Etram. Try asking it to improve itself. See what that does. And look at a skill called Sensei that can help you with improving how skills get detected and work. All right. Make sure you check out my Discord. There's things going on there in the signals and signal discussion channels, so you can see more about our interactive novel, our little game that's going on in the background. So, but for now, I'm going to sign off from here. I'm not going to do a raid because there's so many folks that are watching from different channels and places. So wherever you might be, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you have a great weekend. I wish you good health and good coding. All right. Take care. I will see you next week.